It is late March 2026, and across Texas, bright blue envelopes are arriving in the mail. These are the annual notices of appraised value. Homeowners are opening them expecting a rare bit of financial relief. The Texas housing market has spent the last year in a brutal downturn, and citizens know their properties are worth significantly less than they were 12 months ago. But the piece of paper inside says the exact opposite. The county claims the home's value has actually increased, and the corresponding property tax bill is enormous. Inside that envelope is a valuation that suggests a booming market, a figure that stands in direct opposition to the for sale signs and price cuts lining the very same street. Out in the real world, the 2026 housing market is bleak. Homes sit unsold for months. Interest rates remain punishingly high. Buyers have vanished, and sellers are enduring massive price cuts just to unload their properties. County appraisers are ignoring that reality. Instead of tracking current data, they run valuation algorithms locked on to the absolute peak prices of 2023. While actual market value plummets, government-assessed value continues rocketing upward. That widening gap between reality and the ledger is ghost equity. Citizens are being forced to pay real, hard-earned cash to the state based on phantom wealth that only exists on a county spreadsheet. To understand why counties are doing this, you must away from residential suburbs and focus on the downtown commercial districts. The commercial real estate sector has collapsed. Office buildings are sitting completely empty, and the massive corporate property taxes that usually fund these cities have evaporated. This evaporation of revenue leaves local governments with an immediate cash crisis. The money to maintain failing public infrastructure and pay guaranteed public pensions is simply gone. Facing municipal bankruptcy, the government is executing a brutal mechanical transfer. The missing tax burden is being shifted entirely away from the commercial sector and dropped squarely onto the residential homeowner. These inflated appraisals serve as a desperate revenue capture mechanism designed to keep local governments solvent as their commercial tax base disappears. The logical next step for any homeowner is to fight back. You print out the data showing your home's actual declining value, and you enter the appraisal review board process to formally protest the assessment. This chart shows the structural conflict of interest awaiting you. The board members hearing your case are hired and paid by the exact same appraisal district you are protesting against. It is a closed loop. By 2026, these hearings are severely backlogged. Citizens wait for months, finally step up to the microphone with undeniable proof of dropping local home prices, and are routinely and systematically rejected in a matter of minutes. The protest system is a kangaroo court, designed to exhaust the citizens' time and resources until the state delivers its final ultimatum: pay the fake valuation or lose your property entirely. Because Texas lacks a state income tax, property taxes act as the primary, ruthless lever of state revenue extraction. There is no ceiling to protect you when the assessments climb. Look at the math for a working class or elderly household living on a fixed income of $60,000 a year. A heavily inflated assessment can instantly generate a property tax liability of $18,000. That single bill consumes nearly a third of their gross income. Before buying groceries, paying for healthcare, or keeping the lights on, the homeowner is functionally bankrupt. The invention of ghost equity takes a fully paid-off family home and flips it from a stable generational asset into a completely unaffordable liability. The mathematical impossibility of paying these bills leads to a grim conclusion. A massive wave of forced sell-offs and residential foreclosures is currently sweeping across native Texas neighborhoods. As working families are pushed out, Wall Street firms and institutional investors immediately sweep in, purchasing these distressed, foreclosed family homes for pennies on the dollar. Residents in this system effectively hold a conditional title, a form of perpetual leasehold where the right to stay in a family home is contingent on meeting the ever-climbing revenue requirements of a bankrupt local government. In order to prevent its own total financial collapse, the state of Texas is systematically executing its own middle class.